updates from today. Nick had his settlement conference, and they're going to have another one. So that's all we learned today. And it sounds like they're still negotiating, which that happens. Now, some of you, I know some people on Twitter, and I can't be on Twitter right now because I'm in timeout. We're saying, well, how come we didn't get to hear what they're talking about? The plea negotiations, the plea discussions are never going to be in public like that, where if they're doing actual horse trading, like, no, I don't need the whole world sitting in there listening to how I'm doing business for my client. That's actually not uncommon. I'll go the prosecutor. Sometimes you're in a courtroom and you're the only people in there, and then you walk out, your client's sitting in a conference room, go talk to them and come back. There's a million different ways to do it, but you're not, the idea that, Nick and his attorney were going to sit there at a table and the prosecutor is going to sit there at a table and they're just going to start talking out loud in front of the whole courtroom. That's not going to happen that way. That's not going to happen. If you guys thought that was going to happen, I apologize that I didn't make that clear. It wasn't going to happen that way or dissuade your notions. It never happens that way. Now, they might memorialize an agreement on the record. It doesn't sound like that happened this time. But it does sound like there were some issues about reaching the agreement. Now, that's not uncommon. And, this isn't it's not a murder trial. So there is no murder trial. There's nothing rolling along here that has to happen. I don't know technically, and I didn't see this before, if Nick had waived his right to a speedy trial yet, but he's not run out of that time yet. I mean, this started in May. So I forget if he did or not. I'm trying to remember the top of my head because I don't think there was an actual explicit written waiver hanging out there. But maybe he did waive it by some of the stuff that's been going on. So he has time still to resolve this before. He did waive a speedy trial. Okay, good. I kind of forget if he did. Anyway, that allows them to work on this. So we'll see what happens. Now, I have a feeling for Nick, he wants to come back. I doubt the deals are going to get any better. So he did waive it. Thank you, Ainsley. Yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting. It's going to be very interesting. I guess, I don't know what they think is going to happen. You come back in December, is it going to get any better? I doubt it. I can't see what's going to change. What will change in the current situation that will make things better for Nick now or then than it will now? And I don't see what that is. I mean, unless he's trying to hold out that this suppression motion that Kayla filed through her attorney, is that going to work? Maybe that's what he's holding out for. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't see what he thinks is going to save him today. But he wants to go for it. So they're going to come back. Nico's saying better, nothing worse. Charges from Stearns County? Sure, those still might happen. But in the meantime, we've only got the one case, and that's it. So we'll see. He's buying time to shitpost. Well, here's the thing, guys. He's not going to lose the ability to be on the internet in this case. So I wouldn't worry about it at all. All right. So yesterday, Kayla was due to have filed her motion to suppress. Previously, her attorney had filed just kind of like a bare bones notice they were going to do it. Now she finally filed a memorandum in support. And here it goes. And ultimately, is this better in quality than the ones Nick and his attorneys did? Yes. Are there still a lot of problems with this? Yes. Is this still going to crash and burn? Yes. So, I mean, I'm just telling you that's where it is. I'm just telling you that's where it is, chat. You can think what you think, but I don't think so. I don't think it's going to be anything important going, chat. But yes, recital of some. Some is not all. Some and all are two different things. And that's so the court doesn't serve merely as a rubber stamp for the police. Although, let's be real, the courts basically do function as a rubber stamp for the police. Different topic for a different day. Now, the information reported to law enforcement has no indicia of reliability. According to who? So, information and affidavit could come from various sources, including eyewitness testimony, informants, or surveillance. However, for a warrant to be valid, the source must be reliable. Okay, well, they're not informants, and it's not surveillance. Although you might want to argue some of the stuff when they saw Nick as surveillance, but I think they're getting to the information reported. They're relying on people's eyewitness testimonies because that's what the pastor is saying. My people at my church came to me with eyewitness accounts of what they saw. And here's what they told me. They say if an informant's used, the affidavit must usually demonstrate the informant has previously provided reliable information or that other independent sources corroborate the information. They're not informants. Pastor Mellon is not a fucking informant. He's not a snitch. He's not somebody they have a jacket on where they could say, look, here's all the times Pastor Mellon helped us bust meth dealers. He's not an informant. He's not a confidential source. So that doesn't work here. No mention is made of whether the information was from a reliable or reliable identifiable informant. Here's the thing I think Kayla and her attorney are kind of fucking up here. And this is a big thing. If we go back to the affidavit, okay? The fact that this stuff has been reported, you can so we're gonna basically, if we removed all this, this stuff here, actually, this is all background information. Because ultimately, the issues are Detective Pomplin went ahead and watched Nick's YouTube videos and watched Aaron's YouTube videos. And then he downloaded one and got a search warrant. There's no warrant required at that point to get any of that information. Okay? There's no warrant at that point. I think you guys would all agree, because I'm trying to tell you, they don't need a warrant for any of that. So literally, you can get rid of all of this. I mean, we can get rid of all of this here. It would be a really confusing warrant, but this is all really background to what happens. We can get rid of all this. Because what do we have? We have Nick on camera snorting fucking coke. Right? That's what we've got. I mean, let's just say it's... Because if you did that, the only problem is the person trying to approve your search warrant's going to say, well, wait, how does the story work? Well, this is where the story really starts. By reviewing the social media blogs. I mean, look, we can get rid of these parts of the warrant. It doesn't change what Detective Pomplin saw. Does it? No, none of that. None of this is illegally obtained information. Because this is not illegally obtained information. It's vague information, but what did that lead him to do? I would argue at this point it led Detective, and I'm just telling you based on the arguments they're going to make in court and that I think are going to work. What did Detective Pomplin do with that information? He began to review your affiant started to review Nick and Aaron's social media blogs. This is the thing you guys need to think about here. That's not illegal. He doesn't need a search warrant to do that. And I'll play good faith Gary to Kayla's attorney right now. How do you get around this issue? And this is what I would ask her. How do you get around this problem right here? That all this stuff we just blacked out is just basic background information that led them to go do another legal thing they're allowed to do that doesn't require a warrant. Because at that point, it doesn't matter if you can say they're unreliable. Okay, fine. I fired up YouTube and saw Nick on camera. And I saw Aaron. From here, you could start a warrant with all this stuff. From here on down, this is good stuff for a warrant. So that's why I think this is a problem for them at the end of the day. All this stuff we got rid of, okay, cool. It's gone. He started watching the blogs, and Aaron started spurging up Nick doing coke in the house. And then he goes to look at Nick's stream, and Nick's got, fucking booger sugar on his face. Oh, I'm sorry. Nick doesn't like it when I use terms. Nick had powdered coca leaves on his, the salts from the coca leaves on his face. starting from here, this is the warrant. It'd be really fucking confusing because you wouldn't know how to go. But you take this back and you go backwards from here and you get rid of it all. Okay, well, now you have this. Now you basically, this is all pretextual. This is all background information, really, I would argue. And you're going to have a tough time arguing it's not. Because if you remove it, he received a tip to review Nick's and Aaron's stuff. Okay. So I start watching it. Oh, God. They're doing fucking coke and they're crazy. That'd be a really thin warrant, but that would still be a warrant.